We received a 911 call advising that a boat was sitting on top of a depression at this address. As the responding crews arrived, Engine 23, as you see here next to me, they found a sinkhole, and we are calling it a sinkhole because there was a sinkhole here in the past. Started to open up, and in a very short time, it had taken in a house, and then it took in about 80% of another house. The sinkhole right now is continuing to grow. We were just walking around it, and there are chunks, 18 to 24 inches wide that are continuing to fall into the sinkhole. So again, this is a very fluid operation. We're still in a response phase. It's as an emergency management person, it's really frustrating because we've got to wait for it to stop before we can go to that next level. We're still just doing protective actions, making sure that the community's safe. And as we need to continue backing up the perimeter, we will, and evacuate people from their homes. At this point in time, we have 11 homes. That includes the 2 homes that have gone into the sinkhole. We have 11 homes total that have been evacuated. That evacuation was, in essence, voluntary. And of course, people saw the situation. They were more than happy to get out of harm's way. That evacuation was a joint effort conducted by both the Sheriff's Office and Pasco County Fire Rescue as the first responding units to this scene. They immediately started contacting residents to get them out of their homes. The measurements at this point in time are somewhere between 225 to 250 feet in diameter. And again, as I said earlier today, we're still looking at probably a depth. The geologists were just here. They're estimating, again, about 50 feet deep. One of the problems is there's so much debris in the sinkhole right now that the water is not receding. So as we go into the weekend and this thing stabilizes, there will most likely be some type of recovery effort. We're going to work with the homeowners to see who might have insurance, what's going to be contracted out, what the county's going to have to do to pick up and start working towards getting this resolved. But I want to, especially our local news media, I know we have national news media here as well, but I want our local media to know this is going to be a couple of week, maybe even up to a month operation by getting the roadway repaired and everything resolved. So this is going to be an ongoing operation for quite some time. The other, I will add, and I'll let the sheriff talk a little bit more to this, but we have asked the Sheriff's Office from Pasco County Emergency Management to set up a perimeter and set up traffic choke points to where people cannot get into here. We're asking people to stay away. Again, I'll let the sheriff go into more of that about the security levels and things that'll go on throughout the night and in the coming days. We have contracted with a fence company, and we do have a fence company coming in that's going to set up a chain link fence in the hazardous area. And we're going to set it far enough out so if the sinkhole continues to grow, it'll be okay. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Nacco to talk about obviously the Sheriff's Office operation.
Thank you, Kevin. I can tell you that from a public safety standpoint, from a community standpoint, government is working very well together, and that's what people want to hear. The other side is our hearts and thoughts go out to everybody in this community, because as I was walking down the street, you could just see in people's eyes the anxiety level. They're fearful. And unfortunately, we can't give clear answers because this is Mother Nature. And we don't know what direction this sinkhole is going to go. We don't know if it makes another sharp direction. But to everybody in this community, know we stand with you. We're going to be with you, and we're going to protect you. And I ask that everybody out there, please pray for the people in this community right now, because as they go to bed tonight, I don't even know if they're going to be able to sleep, because this is something that's going to cause a lot of anxiety for them and their families. I want to thank, along with our Sheriff's Office, everybody from FEMA to the Red Cross, Pasco Fire Rescue, Pasco government. Everybody's been working very well together. And to members of our Sheriff's Office, you talk about law enforcement and working at their best. Last night, we went from transition from a situation that was a domestic that turned into an officer-involved shooting, and our people acted admirably, to early this morning, now transitioning to this, and this is a safety rescue just the same way. And we're out here for the community. Well, I ask a couple things. One is, and I appreciate that the media is out here, because I know a lot of people want to see what is going on. This is curiosity. And that's why we're going to put out on our own social media, so go to Pasco Sheriff's Office Twitter account, go to our Facebook page. We're going to provide pictures. The media is providing pictures. We ask that if you don't live in this community, please do not come down here. Don't go on the waterways that are around here. We're going to have the Marine unit out here. Don't drive around here, because all you're doing is adding to the situation, adding to the problems that are going on. The other one thing we want to make sure also is that there are several houses that you've heard people had to evacuate. We're going to make sure that their houses are secure. We're going to make sure all their property is secure. And for those loved ones that already are gone, you know, as I said, we're going to make sure you're safe. But I can tell you one thing from a personal standpoint, and this is kind of one of those things that probably touches home, is that you talk about Mother Nature. As we were walking around out there, you can feel that ground. It is soft, and you can almost feel the ground moving underneath your feet. You see the dirt moving back there, and I know people have seen pictures of the glaciers in Alaska coming down. That's what you're seeing, the dirt and the cement just coming down into the ground. And when you're really starting to pray for people is when you're standing next to a home that you're afraid hours from now is going to disappear. So I want to put that out there. There's a human aspect to this, is that, you know, there's a lot of prayer that needs to go out for these people. And at the same time, you have a community, a sheriff's office, a public safety entity of all government that's here to protect them.
All right, with that, we're going to take questions. I'm going to do this very orderly. I'm going to start on my right, your left, and I'm going to work my way around. And if you have any questions, I'm going to attempt to repeat the question for the other individuals so that they know what the question was, and we'll move on. So I'll start over here. Go ahead, Channel 8.
I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you, you were talking a little bit about how the ground was feeling, or can you give us a greater sense of how the ground is feeling around this sinkhole, and if it's feeling as if it could give? Yeah, so as
the question was about what's the ground feel like, you know, just further describe that. As the sheriff said, you know, we were walking relatively close to that, but not really. We were probably 25, 30 feet away from the edge. But even still, at that point, you felt the asphalt very soft. You felt the ground very soft. So it is continuing to grow. We're going to see some more damage here. So next. So there's a few things that happen there. So we do have septic tanks that this entire neighborhood's on septic tanks. I've already notified the Department of Health. They are in standby mode. There's nothing they can do right now. It's too dangerous. They can't do any testing. But a concern that we may have if it does connect with the lake is we will have at least 3, if not 4 septic tanks that will then start merging with the lake. So we are starting to have those conversations with the health department, as well as, you know, any other protective measures that we need to put in place. If that's boom, whatever it might be, we're starting to have those conversations now about that. Thank you.
The time that you've been there, is it slowing down? Is the path slowing down? How far is it from this lake?
So the question is it slowing down, and how far is it from the lake? The movement is slowing down. It is not nearly what it was when we got here this morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock, where it was moving at almost 25, 30 feet an hour. We are probably down, and I'm going to look over my shoulder here at Sean, probably at about 10 feet maybe per hour now, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 5 to 10. But it is continuing to move. It is not done. We're going to be here. There will be people on site all night long monitoring this to take the necessary protective actions that we may need.
How close is it to connecting with the lake since we can't get down there?
Right.
Is it a possibility that could happen in the next few hours?
So again, the question was, is there a possibility of it connecting with the lake? There is a possibility of it connecting with the lake. There's a good, strong, I'm going to say 200 feet, give or take, between the two. We did have somebody call us up from the state of Florida and telling us that there is a excellent oak tree that you may have line of sight on that's right there about where the edge of the hole is right now. And they said that oak tree is actually helping out. So again, the root system and all that's helping the situation out. But 200 feet per, give or take, is about the distance between the lake and the sinkhole. I'm going to continue to move this way. Anyone? Any over here? Josh?
Kevin, I have 2. So is this the biggest sinkhole in terms of size and damage that we've seen in how many years? So
I'll go ahead and fill this question. The question is, how long has it been since we've seen a sinkhole like this? Is this the worst? So the engine captain that was on engine 23 this morning, that was the first arriving captain, it is not the same captain now, but he's been with the county for 30 years. And he said that in his 30 years, he's never seen anything like this, and he said this would be the biggest sinkhole that he's ever seen in Pasco County. So You got a follow-up question to that, Josh?
Yeah, and so why is it filled with water?
Okay, so the question is, why does the sinkhole fill with water? So I'm not a scientist, but I will tell you what I was told by the state DEP folks. What ends up happening is, as the earth opens up, it is opened up to the aquifer below, the Florida aquifer. That aquifer then fills the hole with water, and that's where the water comes from. As the debris falls into it, typical sinkhole would then drain out. Because there's so much debris in it, this sinkhole has not started draining.
If anything was done the last time there was a sinkhole on this property about 5 years ago.
So again, there was a sinkhole here. I don't know the date. We're being told 5 years. I have not vetted that, but it was remediated. I do not know what those remediations are. If you want to check with the Pasco permitting office to see what permits were pulled, what they did. I heard an individual that did some work on this house said that they did put some shore pins in it. But again, other than that, I don't know the details of the actual remediation.
Do you know exactly where it was inside of it?
No, I do not have the dimensions of that previous sinkhole from, as you stated, 5 years ago.
If it does rain, how much of a deterrent is that going to be for the crews?
So if the question is if it rains, is that going to be a deterrent for crews? It will not be a deterrent for us because, again, we're still in a mode of response. Even though you see a lot of equipment and people see people standing around, we're waiting on it to stop. We have to wait on it to stop. So if we get a 1-inch downpour right now, it's not going to make a difference.
Could that create a bigger problem with it expanding even
Sure,
further?
sure, because, you know, just like you would have with anything else, you have the potential of erosion and things of that nature. So yes, we do expect if it does rain that we will get some erosion and we'll have some of the banks fall in a little bit more. But again, it's going to hamper us in the area that we will have to seek cover, and we cannot get out and actually work in that. But again, right now, all we're doing is maintaining a perimeter for safety reasons.
And when do you know that it will stop?
I'm sorry?
When do you know that it will stop?
We do not know when it'll stop. We have no estimation. This is Mother Nature. And when Mother Nature decides to stop moving, then it'll stop moving.
Kevin, we've got 9 homes that are considered in danger right now, 2 that have been destroyed. Any sense of that number increasing between now and later tonight or whatever?
The question is, we've got 2 destroyed homes and 9 in danger. And the question is, do we think we may have other homes in danger? So I don't know that we're going to have more homes evacuated and labeled do not enter. I think we got a really strong perimeter right now. However, as the sheriff and I were walking around, we did see this creeping towards another house. And if it continues to do that, and right now it's not showing any signs of stopping, I do believe that we'll probably see that start to move underneath that foundation of that next house.
So a 10th home is possible?
A 3rd home is possible to be lost.
Okay.
But we'll still be sitting at 11 total.
Kevin, are these
Josh?
Are these homeowners or are the people living in them, were they renters?
I've been told information that some of them were renters, some of them are homeowners, but again, at this point in time, I cannot tell you at each individual address which one was which.
Do you know, do they have sinkhole insurance? Are they covered?
So we are attempting to make contact with those individuals. Again, the question was sinkhole insurance. We're attempting to make contact with the homeowners. We do have a person on site, representative for one of the homes right now that my team's working with to find out those questions. But as of right now, we do not know if either one of those had homeowners insurance or sinkhole insurance. I'll make another scan back around from this side. Any other questions? All right, we thank you very much. As of right now, I'm looking to Amy and Doug.
We're going to do one-on-ones.
Okay, one-on-ones with myself and the sheriff, and we may end up doing another press briefing towards the evening, but we'll give you that time if we do. All right, thank you, folks.
Very much, Kevin.
And the word you just heard from Pasco County officials there, this is not done. This sinkhole is still growing. now estimated 250 feet across, 50 feet deep. Large chunks, 2-foot chunks kind of falling off this thing by the minute. We do know one home is destroyed, another home estimated 80% destroyed. An issue they're kind of looking ahead to right now. If this sinkhole connects with two, not one, but two nearby lakes, this could cause some issues with the septic tank. They're looking at that. They're assessing that now. Our coverage continues right now with more live pictures on abcactionnews.com, and join us live at 4 o'clock for the Now Tampa Bay.